Alright, so we'll go ahead and get started with tonight's webinar. Again, my name is Sean, and like I said, tonight we're just going to be covering some of the magic patterns and going over our pricing calculator. Alright. So, like the live templates, if you go up to your window up here, the Docker window, you'll see a drop down that says Tier W Magic Patterns. Also, on your Edit tab, down here you'll see Magic Patterns as well. So, when you install the software, whether it be, I'm pretty sure either the trial or the full version, you'll get, I think it's a 5 or 6 magic patterns with the software. Now they're pretty basic. They're just some hearts, a couple stars, and some circle shapes. But we also have more patterns on our site that range from holiday, sports, distress looks for fonts. So we have a lot of different magic patterns on our site too. Hey Mary, welcome. Just getting started. So in our Docker window, we're going to go ahead and select our Tier W magic patterns. And then you should see your window like this pop up. Now down here you have a little grid where if you want to see more patterns, you can pull this all the way to the left. If you want to see the patterns a little bit bigger, you can move that all the way to the right, and it's only going to show 2 next to each other. So you can play around with that. But you can see we have a lot of different patterns. I think these stars, the hearts, these first 7 are the ones you'll get. Here's different pattern looks. So zebra, distressed, giraffe, and then we have some icicles. We have our sports collection. We have some holiday themes. So we have a lot of different patterns. Dogs, again, some more sports, some church related ones, some paisley, and so on. Yeah, these are available for purchase on the site. They range, I'll pull it up towards the end just to show you where to find them. But they come in like little 5 or 6 packs. Some are sports related. Again, some are distress patterns. There's like a paisley pack. So there's all different packs. And then we have like a full artwork pack that contains all of them. So the way these patterns will work, I'll show you first just on a simple font. So we can just write out all star. So we have our font here. And what I'm going to do, when I'm working with the patterns, I like to add a little background, like almost like a contour to my original shape. So we're going to come make this about 0.2, and we're just going to add a background to our design. So it looks like it's not working that way, so we'll go ahead and add a contour this way. There we go. And we'll just break that apart. So I have my 2 colors, and now I have the same word in different sizes. So we have our first all-star, it's about 10 inches wide. Then we have our second all-star, that's almost 30. So the magic patterns, when you're using the patterns, your starting size will matter because it will bring in more of the pattern you're using. So for example, we have the word all-star here. If I select this star shape pattern, you'll notice how it looks like it has like a star kind of taken out of it, but it's very hard to see the pattern because my text, my object is so small to start out with. Where if I select the same word, when I select it now, because we started it at 28 inches wide, you're going to see more of that pattern throughout our design. So if this was even bigger, you'd see even more stars in our design. So you can see when I went a little bit larger like this, our design looks a lot better this way. So we can kind of expand our shapes when we're working with vectors as large as we like, because once we're done, it's at 57 inches right now, but let's say I just needed this 8 inches wide. Now I can just type 8. Let's make sure that's locked. So now when I type 8, it's still 8 inches now, but it has a lot more detail than our example here. So as you're using these different patterns, just know, so let's go ahead and we'll just draw a basic shape too. So you can see the difference in some of our other designs. So here, and again, I'm just going to add a quick background, because without the background, that kind of, now it doesn't look necessarily bad, but that's our design right now. But if you want, you can just add a background shape to it before, and you get like a 2-color design, which tends to look a little bit better when we're using our patterns. So our first design, let's say we're going to use our football 2. So that's going to have all of our different football players. You only kind of see 4 in our shape here. Where if I do it to the large circle, now you're going to see a lot more football players, and it's going to complete the pattern. So a lot of these are kind of cut off. Now you'll actually get to see the full football players. So when we're working with different patterns, depending on how much of the design or pattern we want to see, we need to expand our original vectors. And again, when we're done, we can just resize them to whatever we'd like. All right, so now kind of go over creating some different designs with a couple different patterns. So simple ways to use them are just with text, kind of like we did before. So let's say we're using one of our holiday ones. So we'll do Merry Christmas. I'm just going to go ahead and center my text. I'll go ahead and break each one up. So with the Merry, we'll do the Pacifico. And Christmas, we'll do our bubble gum again. So we'll set it up something like this. So when I'm creating this design, I want to start it pretty big, because if I have, the larger I have it, the better my pattern is going to look in my design. So we'll go ahead and make this green. I'm going to bring it to the front, and I'll just add a little bit of a contour around the outside. Now our design here, our Christmas, this is what I'm actually going to add the pattern to. So I'm going to go ahead and add a boundary to the outside. And let's make that boundary just a little bit bigger. So with a simple text like this, I can now select the top of my Christmas text. And let's find my icicles, or snowflakes. Now the larger the design, it will take a little bit of time just loading it, because it's going through all through the design. Now again, this one might be a little bit difficult, just because if we do size it to get all these cut out, it might be a little bit tricky. But if we were doing anything print wise, this pattern would work really well with our design. But it's just going to subtract that through. So now we have our top layer, and then our red would be our background. Hey Peggy, welcome. Does the text stay text or is it converted to curve? So once you apply the pattern to the text, it will convert it to a curve. So at this point, you can't go ahead and you can't type it out or retype it. Now, what you could do, in a sense, is let's say let's see if we can do it this way. So if we draw a rectangle tool, I'm going to just draw kind of a shape. It's about 18 by 10. And I'm going to click my holiday. All right, so now we have our design like this. And what I'm going to do is right click and hit break curve apart. And that should leave me with just my snowflakes. So this is a pretty cool tool too. What you can do make this a little bit larger. So we have our snowflakes. I'm just welding all those together. So let's say we did have a text, and I'll go ahead and use my text effects. So we'll just use a simple text with an outline. I'm going to hit apply. I don't have anything selected. So I have my text now, and we'll go ahead and write Christmas. Bubblegum, okay. So I have my text just like that. Say I want to make this a little bit thicker. So right now we have this pattern that we just kind of pulled from one of our magic patterns. And now so we welded all this together, so this is one object. So I can right click, hit power clip inside, select my Christmas text, and it'll throw those snowflakes right in my text. So at this point, the word Christmas is actually set up as a live text. So you could come here and write Xmas, and it'll actually keep that pattern inside your text. So no matter what you write out, it will just hold that shape still in your text. So this is just another way you can utilize magic patterns, is because once you have these patterns, you can actually pull all the clip art from these patterns and use them for designing. So let's say we have our football one here that had all those different sports players in it. So if I draw out my rectangle, click football 2, it's going to give me all these different football players. So all I have to do is, I can pretty much get these different vectors two different ways. One, you right click, hit break curve apart, and then just move that box, and it will leave you with a couple different vectors behind it. Or simply use the smart fill, and let's say I just want the quarterback. I can go here, select the quarterback, delete my pattern, and now I can go ahead and bring him in. Make him a little bit bigger. So I got my quarterback now, and using my text effects, go ahead and hit apply. Same with the bottom. And now I can just come in, let's say Southeast football. Oh, we'll do Southeast up top. we'll just stick with the impact. So do southeast, okay, and then football on the bottom. And then again, if we wanted to, we could add a number, a position, anything like that, and we have a brand new design. So anytime you purchase any of these patterns, again, let's say, got my rectangle, let's say I'm doing something for a dog mom. Go ahead and use my smart fill out one of those paws. Just delete everything else. I got my paw. And then we can go ahead and write out one color, apply. So write out dog at the top. Or even, you could even do the breed. I don't know if it's 2 P's or 1. I'm going to go with 1. And then we have our paw here. And then I just do an M. Put 1 here, 1 here. And then we have our design. Alright, so those are all just, you know, really quick designs that we're able to use these magic patterns from. So yeah, it gives us a cool pattern like something like this, but once we, you know, if we're doing any type of design and I need a snowflake, now I can just come into this pattern, use my smart fill, and now I have a snowflake pulled from this design. So we also have a couple different ones too that make text look pretty neat. So let's say we'll use our font here. We'll do all uppercase. Add a pattern background, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of an envelope shape real quick. So it's just something like that. So with the just a word, just beast, we can go to magic patterns and we'll go up to some of our patterns here. So we have like animal print, but a really cool one and popular is we have the distress in Quake 1. So the Quake, go ahead and click. It gives us this nice effect right to our design just like this. Now what's really nice about these two is the way we set these up is that all these lines is one continuous weed. So it's not like little parts you have to go and pick out. It looks like a mess to weed this, but it's actually very easy because there's no little cavities. It's just all one kind of pool. All these little lines are connected. So any questions on our magic patterns? All right, so the next topic we're going to cover is our pricing calculator. So have you guys used the pricing calculator yet? Have we set our price levels? Do we even know where any of that is? Okay. All right, so on the top right of the wizard, you'll see this little money sign. So that's going to be our pricing calculator. So when I'm hovering over, you'll see left click for pricing, right click for advanced pricing. Also, underneath that, you have your select vinyl library. If you right click this option, this is going to pull up your pricing, your price setting. So everyone's going to buy at different pricing points. So what you're able to do is come in here and edit these numbers to match the pricing points of what you're paying for specific vinyls. All right, so the width is in inches and then the length is in feet. So someone that's buying, let's say, a whole roll of vinyl at a time is most likely paying a lot less per foot than someone that's buying a sheet or maybe two or even up to like 5 or less at a time. That person's paying a lot more per foot than someone that's buying a whole roll. So you can adjust these price points so they match what you're paying for it. So again, the width is in inches. So most of the vinyl, the width you won't adjust because it's pretty much set. And then the length, if you want to do, let's say you buy 5 feet at a time, you can do 5, you can put length as 5 and what you pay for 5 feet at a time. Or you can multiply it by 3 and leave the length at 15 and just edit the cost. So if you do make any adjustments, when you click on your product, you want to make sure you hit update and then save. If you don't do that, it's not going to update your actual pricing points. Now we can do this with the same with the stones too. So if we ever need to change the stone pricing, we can do that as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up a design. Alright. So when we have a design set up like this, when we're actually using our pricing calculator, we have to use our vinyl colors from the Design Wizard palettes. So that means I can't come over here on the right side and let's say I wanted this turquoise, I can't pick turquoise from here. I need to find turquoise or the most closest color to that and use that in my vinyl colors here. So as you know, we have all the, a lot of the Caesar products listed, the FTC signed vinyl, and you can also add your own folders to this as if you'd like to too. So you can adjust these, you can adjust the pricing, and you can add your own colors and different vinyl products. So in this case, we'll go ahead and we'll do the sun yellow. And let's go ahead and make a few things in here. Navy blue. So we got our navy blue and our sun yellow. So right now, this design is about little less than 10 inches wide and a little bit more than 6 inches tall. So a pretty good size t-shirt, like a normal t-shirt size. All right. So if I just want a quick product cost, so just what pretty much just what my vinyl cost for this design, I can go ahead and left click my money sign. So do you guys want to guess what you think for pretty much a design less than 10 inches wide, a little less than 10 inches wide, a little bit more than 6 inches tall? What do you think our product cost is for this design? So we have two colors, both easy weed. What would you guess your product cost is? So we have $4, $169. I like that guess. $3.20. 68 cents. $2.50. So yeah, as you can see, we have $1.46. No idea. So we have a lot of variants. So we have a few that are pretty close to that, $1.50 to probably $3 range. But then we also have some that are all the way up to the $6. So as you can see, there's a lot of variance here. So what this pricing calculator is going to do is help narrow this down for you to give you an idea of what you actually have invested into these t-shirts. So instead of you pretty much quoting someone, let's just say I think I only have, $1.50 or maybe I'm charging them for $6 and then I realize I don't have that much in here, then I can lower my prices and maybe, get an extra customer. So knowing how much product cost we have will really help us when we're pricing out our t-shirts. So I'm going to go ahead and left click my money sign, and you'll see we have 87 cents in sun yellow, and then 89 cents in my navy blue. So total vinyl cost of $1.76 for this specific t-shirt, or for this specific design. So the left click, just pretty much the basic pricing calculator, all that's going to do is just give you a stone and vinyl cost, which is helpful. But when we're actually going through the quoting process, when I'm, quoting for an entire t-shirt, we have a lot more cost than just our vinyl or stones that go into making a t-shirt. So we have our labor costs, we have overhead, so if we're paying rent, electricity, all those things. We have our t-shirt, our apparel costs. So we have a few extra costs in here that we aren't including in this t-shirt. So now if I'm just basing this off my basic pricing of $1.76, well, let's just say now, okay, I have $1.76 based on, or, invested into this t-shirt. I'm new. I want to get a couple of clients. Let's say I'm trying to lowball competition, and hey, I can make this t-shirt for you for $14. Okay, if I look at it that way, almost, let's just round up to $2 in cost. I'm bringing home $12 a t-shirt at that point. So that sounds pretty good. So if we're based off that, let's go ahead. Now we're going to do the same t-shirt or same design here, and we're going to right click it. So this window is going to pop up, and this is going to be our advanced pricing calculator. So this is going to help us before we go ahead and just charge our customer. Let's say I didn't use my advanced pricing calculator and I charged them $14 for this design. They want to get 25 of these t-shirts. So setup and design fee, if you're not charging one, I would recommend to. Now it doesn't have to be a lot, and we always do different things. So, if it's a first time customer, you can waive the setup and design fee. If they do, let's say, after 50 let's say they're getting 50 t-shirts, or after 50 items, you waive the setup and design fee. So there's little things like that, but for this example, we're going to say we charge them a $12 setup and design fee. So the next question or section we want to answer is the rate of the employee handling the design. So even if this is, you don't have any employees at this time, you still want to pay yourself. So even if it's, let's just say $10 an hour, we're going to put $10 there. We don't want to leave this as zero, because then let's say you do get an employee or you start paying yourself, all of a sudden, these pricings aren't going to be the same because you've never had a number in there. So we don't want to get in the habit of putting like zero, because then when you actually have that cost, you're going to have to jack up the t-shirt cost to be able to pay for that employee. How many minutes did it take for setup and designing? Well, if you're using live templates, it should be very, a very limited time frame. So, 5 minutes at the most, kind of editing these designs. If you're starting from scratch, it's definitely going to take a little bit more time. So in this case, we used a live template. They don't know we're using a live template, so even if we are, we're still going to charge a setup and design fee, because we're gonna, we're still editing it and setting it up for them. So how many minutes did it take up to set up this design? I'll put in 5, but really with these live templates, it should be a little bit less than that. And then has the setup, design, and setup time / design fee been prepaid? Most of the times we collect that in advance, just in case, sometimes once you start working on the design, you quote somebody and then they never want to talk to you again. So we collect that design fee in advance. That way, even if we, spend an hour creating a design, at least we've made, $12, and that hopefully it has paid for that employee's time. All right. So retail price for the finished product. So I said $14. What type of discount you're providing? So in this case, let's say I'm giving them a 5%, because you know what? In my store, if you order 25 or more shirts, you get 5% off. Name of the blank being used. So in this t-shirt, they're using just a blank Gildan t-shirt, and I got them on sale for $1.25 each. And then the hourly rate of the employee on the production side, it's the same employee, so we're going to write $10. How many minutes did it take to produce? So it's a 2-color shirt. They're going to cut, weed, and press one shirt. Hopefully, let's say no more than 7 minutes per shirt. Total quantity being produced, 25. And now we get to our overhead. So let's say we're working out, if we have an actual storefront, we should know exactly what our overhead cost is. If we're working out of like a spare room or a garage, you can take some of your, monthly rent and put that towards your overhead cost. So let's say I'm working out of my house. My rent is $750 a month plus utilities. I'm around $1,000. Well, I could divide that by 4. So, or let's just say $1,200 for all my bills. I can divide that by 4. So about $300 a month right now for overhead. And I'm just starting, so I'm only averaging 25 products a month, or let's say we'll say 50 products a month. Now 50, well, when we're saying how many products do you average a month, this t-shirt order itself is 20. We said it was 25 t-shirts, so that's 25 items being produced. So 50 isn't too much, but starting out, it could be, that could be a decent average. But if you're doing, let's say, school comes in and orders 300, then your average is going to go way up and stuff like that. So it's not set, but what you can do is if you hit this plus sign right now, you can enter like a value for these. So most of this isn't going to change. There's only a few areas that will. So if you want to set this up as basic preset or anything like that, you can name it and hit OK. And then you can actually use the drop down, and you can see I actually preloaded a couple different settings. So I have my basic pricing, wave setup fee, new customer, basic price setting. So you can preset any of these you want. So let's say for the new customer, it will have a wave the new customer applies like a 10% discount to their order the first time. Waive setup fee, doesn't have a setup fee involved. So it just saves you a little bit of time filling all these out. But you don't have to. You can fill it out every time if you'd like. So once you fill everything out, you're going to hit price. And now it's going to break down your pricing for everything. So your labor, your vinyl cost, your t-shirt cost, your overhead cost, and let you know based on the $14 we're charging per t-shirt how much we're going to make for this order. All right, so now as we run through this, we still have our vinyl cost of $1.76. Our Gildan t-shirt cost was $1.25. So now our material cost is up to $3.01. We said our production, we're paying our employee $10 an hour. It took them 7 minutes to produce. So per product, they're getting paid $1.17. And our business overhead cost per product is $6. So that means our material, labor, and overhead cost per product is right around $10.18. All right. So what this means, this number right here, is instead of if I'm just going off the $1.76, thinking that's my t-shirt, what I have invested in this t-shirt, I'm going to be way off because my actual total is $10.18. So as you have more items selling per month, your average, this number is going to go down. So, that your product costs could go down the more products you're making, but you'll see the big jump from here. So if I'm investing $10 into every t-shirt and I'm only charging $14, well, instead of making, what I thought at least $12 a t-shirt, I'm only making $4, and that's actually before my 5% discount. So now I'm making $13.30 per t-shirt. I'm charging $13.30 per t-shirt, and I'm have $10.18 invested into one or each t-shirt. So essentially, now I'm making $3 per t-shirt. All right. So this order is going to take almost 3 hours to complete based on the time we gave it. So our total order price was $3.32. That's what the customer is going to give us. Our cost was $2.54. So our business profit per hour was $26, and our total profit for the entire order is only $78. So pretty much we're going to work 30 hours, make almost $80 for our t-shirt. So that's not necessarily awful. If I'm starting out, I might take that business, but you can see that for your time, you're really, maybe if it was just me, it might be worth it. But if I'm paying someone, this is going to be, I'm not really making the money I want to for my company. So instead, let's say, once we learn, okay, I have $10 in this t-shirt, I have to charge a little bit more. Well, if I go back, my retail price, let's just say I'm going to jump it up to $20 a t-shirt. Or even, let's just say $18 a t-shirt now. I'm still going to give them the 5%. We're going to price it. Now, I'm making $173 for this entire order, and I'm making almost $60 per hour for the business. So those are the type of numbers we're okay with. So, being brand new to the industry, pricing can be very difficult. So this pricing calculator will be very helpful to know how to price your different products out based on, your t-shirt cost, your overhead, and everything like that. And what's cool about this too is once you actually, figure, okay, I like everything, how it breaks down, I like the numbers I see here. Once we're done with that, we can go ahead and fill all this out. And again, you can actually save customers. So once you can hit the add button and it'll add customers' information if you'd like. So order number, we're going to just fill this out. 1919. Order due date. Let's say I'm going to get this to them by the 15th. Customer phone number. Don't need an address. Product design name, Manatee Basketball, 2 color, blank size. You can put, medium to XXL, or you can do XXL. And blank color, we're going to say white. Sales tax, you can add that too, say 0.065. Completion date was today. And additional notes, you can put in call when ready. So you have your logo, and down here we have our internal and customer. So this is our pricing breakdowns. So you'll definitely want to do customer and internal, and once you're done, we're going to hit create pricing, our printable pricing breakdown. So what this does is makes pretty much 2 order forms or mock-ups or even contracts for you and your customer. And the only reason I have this soccer ball is this is actually what I saved as my logo. So it's not actually part of the design, so ignore that. But down here you'll see 2 different tabs. You'll see internal and customer pricing. So this is your customer order form. This is what it's going to look like for your customer. So it's going to have all their information. It's going to have your design with the title. It's going to say the breakdown of the dimensions. The setup and design was prepaid. How much vinyl you're using per design. And if you had rhinestones, it has a little count. Additional notes, call when ready. And then this breaks down their t-shirt cost. So they're paying $18 per product. They're getting 25 at a time. And we're providing a 5% discount. So they're actually paying $17.10 per shirt. So their total order price is what they owe. And here's their tax for a grand total of $455.29. It has their little information down here. Gildan t-shirt, men's medium through XXL, color white. And then here's a nice signing. By signing this, you're agreeing to all the information, colors, and spellings. So this way, if you haven't experienced before, it definitely happens. Your customer's going to approve something, and then they're going to make it, and they're going to say, you know what, I wanted it this way or that way. And it's always nice to have some type of either, written or email document stating that they're like verifying what they're getting and everything like that. Is there a way to put 2 designs on this form? As of now, it's just a 1 design. Technically, if you had the other design, you could kind of build this yourself. So I can move this over, bring the other design in, and kind of move it over here, something like that. You could rearrange this yourself, but it's not going to calculate everything else for them. But Jerry, that's a great idea. Let me write that down and see if I can talk to Matt. Alright, so then they'll sign that, and that's for your record. And then the internal pricing is just for your record. You do not want your customer to see this because they're going to see, oh, it only costs 87 and 89 cents for my vinyl, but I'm somehow paying 17 bucks for it. So this is just for your end to see all your costs. So it's just going to break down all your costs and what goes into it, and then also what they're paying per t-shirt and their total order. All right, so this one, the internal pricing is for your record, and then customer pricing, this is the form they'll get. So this customer pricing is also nice too, because you'll always get, let's say I'm doing this we're giving them 5% off because they're ordering 25 t-shirts at once. Well, when they're placing a bulk order, I can cut everything at once. I can order more vinyl at once, so I get it at a cheaper price. So all these little things are making it easier for me to knock out 25 to knock out 25, it's making it cheaper if I had to do just one of those designs. So because I'm able to get everything cheaper, I'm able to give like a 5% discount. So let's say, we get 25 of these ordered, and 2 weeks later, everybody has these shirts. One mom or one family didn't order it, and then they come back and say, hey, everyone on the team has these shirts. I would like, 1 or 2 of these designs. Okay, perfect. Here's the order, here's the order form that we gave earlier. It's going to cost, the retail price per t-shirt is $18. That way they know, if next time, if they ordered it with the program or with the rest of the team, it's only $17.10. But because they ordered it as a single product, it's going to be $18 because we can't match the price unless they're getting 25 at a time. So this just helps you show them on your records. Now, they're probably not going to worry about 90 cents too much, but if this product was $50 and we knock 5% out, those discounts are going to add up. So just having this and being able to show them this helps, if anyone ever complains about not giving the same deal or something like that on a bulk order. All right, so any questions on the pricing calculators? Or magic patterns? Anything we covered tonight? Alright, well let me pull up site real quick. We had someone asking about the magic patterns earlier. Hey Carol, welcome. So if you come in here and type magic patterns, you should see most of them that way. So here's the actual full artwork pack here. That's going to contain all of them. But as you scroll down, you'll see the different type of patterns we have. Like I said, most of them are going to be at least 5 in a pack. This one is our holiday. We have basketball, a couple different sports here. One of our nature packs. We have paisley packs, dog packs. So these are all different magic patterns we have throughout the software. So you can find those if you just type in magic patterns. That'll probably be the easiest right in our search bar, and that will list them all that way. All right. So otherwise, that pretty much wraps up tonight's webinar. So thank you guys all for coming. Any other questions, please give us a call at 941-755-1696 or shoot us an email at info@therhinestoneworld.com. We have a couple different webinars coming up too. We'll have Matt's tomorrow. Also, I'll have one later this week. I think Wednesday night I'm going to shoot for. So I'll have that listed as well tomorrow. But Matt's going to go over working with envelopes tomorrow. And that's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We got a question coming in. Is there a way to figure out how much vinyl to purchase for an order within the calculator? So, Peggy, with something like that, it would probably be based upon like the design you're creating. So, like a design like this, if I had just a yellow on this, it's about 9 inches wide by 15. So I guess it would just depend on how much vinyl you needed or how many designs you're creating. Let's see if I rotate this 90 real quick. If I can get it set up like this. So if I'm working with EasyWeed, I can't get to, it's about 15 inches wide. So I was seeing if I could get it like 2 squeezed in this way, which I can't. So essentially I'd have to cut one of these all the way down. So let's say I had 25 of these. I would round this to about 6 inches tall, and I would just do 25 times 6, which was, what's that, like 150? So 150 inches divided by 12, and that would give me how many feet I would need. So let's see, calculator. So what I did was, first we had it 6 inches tall, so we times that by 25, 150. Divide that, that's in inches, divided by 12. So I'm looking at about 12 and a half feet. So obviously I would order 13, maybe even 14 just in case for my sun yellow. And then same thing for my basketball, 9.5 by 6. So pretty similar. I'd probably go 14 or 15 on the blue. But Peggy, that's definitely a good idea. We'll see if we can maybe add that feature, or give it like an estimate to plug in to say, like, let's say I need 25 of these, how much should I order? So that's a great idea there. Alright guys, otherwise thank you so much. Yes, this is recorded, so it should be up by tomorrow for you guys. Alright guys, you have a great night, and like I said, Matt's tomorrow at 12, and then I'll probably be doing one again Wednesday night. I'm not exactly sure on the topic yet, but if you guys, if you're interested or need, having trouble with anything, let us know. We can always gear webinars towards those type of issues. Alright guys, have a great night. Bye.